Stop and listen. I'm about to tell you some things about the eclipse that you have not heard yet. No, I'm not going to talk about how it forms the Aleph or the Tav, or how it goes through all the cities of Nineveh. More importantly, I'm going to talk about something in our past. Did you know that in 1811 we had a solar eclipse that was preceded 2 weeks earlier by a partial lunar eclipse? This is the second solar eclipse that we had in the early 1800s. The reason this is important is because following these, in the year 1811, we had earthquake, over 2,000 to be exact, followed by 6 to 10,000 in the Bootheel of Missouri, where the New Madrid fault line is. You should pause and read this because you'll see that we had some as strong as 8.8 in the series following the solar eclipse. Here's where it starts to get interesting. It states that the Mississippi River ran backwards for 3 hours, as well as many other earthquake phenomena. I bet you didn't hear about that in history class. Stay with me because this is where it gets interesting. There was sand boils, seismic tar balls, earthquake lights, earthquake smog, thunder, and animal warnings. I suggest you pause and read those to see what was going on. What's really interesting is the earthquake smog. It says the skies turned dark during the earthquakes, so dark that the lighted lamps didn't help, and the air smelled bad, and that it was hard to breathe. I suggest you just pause and read some of the scriptures that I put here before continuing on, because I'm trying to make this as short as possible. Now, I'm sure you know that the Devil comet will also be visible during the April 8th solar eclipse. What's interesting is there was also a comet that came through during the 1811 solar eclipse. The Tecumseh comet is what they called it. Now, of course, they say that this comet only comes around once every 3,065 years, but I do have something interesting to add to this. The Devil comet, or as they call it scientifically, the Pons Brooks, orbits the sun every 71 years. Since we will see it this year in 2024 with the eclipse, we can do a little backwards math, and if you look, it actually goes back to the last time we saw it as the year 1811. Of course, they wouldn't lie to us about history though, right? Remember when I mentioned earlier that the solar eclipse of 1811 was preceded 2 weeks earlier by a lunar eclipse? Well, wouldn't you know it, exactly 2 weeks prior to the April 8th solar eclipse, we will have a lunar eclipse on March 25th. Those earthquakes were called the Great New Madrid earthquakes, and of course we know that the path goes right over the New Madrid fault line for the eclipse of April 8th. Maybe they do have reasoning for stationing National Guard, canceling schools, putting out radiation units. I mean, who knows what's in that earthquake smog that's going to dark out the sky, not to mention how that also ties into more scripture. I know I find it odd stationing National Guard. Exactly 2 weeks prior to the April 8th solar eclipse, we will have a lunar eclipse on March 25th. Those earthquakes were called the Great New Madrid earthquakes.
There is no Hebrew word for coincidences, man. All right, I'm going to give all praises, glory, honor, and power that's due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. And salutations to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth in all sincerity and diligence, risking your lives and freedoms to do so. And shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of the Lord Yahweh Shah. All right, this your brother Chagabar. All right, I want to be speaking on that April 8th total solar eclipse that everybody is pretty much anticipating. Okay, they got National Guard being declared in places like Oklahoma. Okay, you got all these schools shutting down. They telling people to stock up on 3 days to 2 weeks worth of food, gas, and water. So it's a whole lot of hysteria being built up around this. But when you look at all the spiritual signs that Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shah is showing, man, it's looking like this destruction is about to commence. All right. Now, I found this video very interesting because, as you've seen, he pointed out in this video, all right, which we're going to compare it to everything else we've been hearing about this eclipse. All right. But he pointed out that back in the 1800s, okay, 1811 to be specifically, all right, there was they had a solar eclipse. OK, and 2 weeks prior to that solar eclipse, there was a partial lunar eclipse, okay? And preceding those events, okay, those signs in the heavens was over 2,000 earthquakes, all right? Some of which were magnitude 8 and greater, as he mentioned, some of which he had a magnitude 8.8, I believe he mentioned, all right? And then all of these different phenomena that, you know, we've never really experienced before was taking place, okay? Sand boils, seismic tar balls, earthquake lights, warm water, earthquake smog, Animal warnings, lots of thunder. Okay, all things follow that what they call the I guess he said the New Madrid earthquakes. Okay, that happened in 1811, and was very interesting about that. All right, which we know the Most High doesn't deal with coincidences. Is the same thing is lining up, man. Okay, we have a total solar eclipse on the 8th, and 2 weeks prior to that solar eclipse, we have a lunar eclipse. I believe it's going to be a blood moon. All right, and also he mentioned the Devil's Comet that we know they're saying is going to be visible around this solar eclipse. Well, when you do the math based on them saying it comes around every 71 years, guess what? That means that Devil's Comet would have been visible right around the time of 1811, preceding those thousands of earthquakes. Okay, so this is we're about to witness major activity, man. Yahweh Bashim Shah is about to open the floodgates, okay, and he's really about to shake shit up, man. Okay, there ain't no coincidence. The same shit that happened in 1811 literally is lining up all over again, and we're in the time of the Passover that's coming up this Saturday. Okay, we got Passover coming up. All right, so we know the plagues of Egypt and America's destruction. It's about to commence, man. This is yet another sign. Which I'm gonna go over this list I just created. We know of the olive, okay, that was formed from the eclipses crossing, and you have the Tha, which is the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet.
Dark out the sky.
You had
11 and 8. Path goes. And we saw. I suggest you guys to get into some things about solar eclipse. Following these solar eclipses. Stop and listen. I'm about to tell you some things about the eclipse that you have not heard yet. No.
Yeah, you have the okay, and then you have the Tha being created from the eclipse from 7 years ago, and it's one that's occurring on the 8th, which we know that Tha is the last Hebrew character in the alphabet, which goes into a sign or end. Okay, so America's literally being marked out. This place has been numbered to the slaughter, man. Okay, and the place where those eclipses cross is a place in Illinois called Little Egypt, and that's also at the Boot Hill of Missouri, which is where that New Madrid fault line is at. Now, you'd be a fool to think that these things are coincidences, man. Okay, it's yet again the Most High showing you that he's about to go ahead and end this shit, man. All right. It's Luke 21 and 25. It says, and there should be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring. Which, if you read Matthew the 24th chapter, goes into what? The earthquakes in diverse many places, man. Okay, so you got these signs. The fact that 2024 is shadowing what happened back in 1811. Okay, the devil's comet being visible. Okay, total solar eclipse that was preceded by a lunar eclipse 2 weeks prior. If all that happened back in 1811, okay, which you can look it up, he just had it pulled up.
Put here 71 New Madrid 40 days at work. Comet only comes around. Earthquake strong as 8 solar eclipse, partial lunar.
You see, that all happened back in 1811, and what followed that, they were preceded by thousands of earthquakes, man. I believe they said 2,000 earthquakes, some of which were greater than a magnitude 8. Okay, so we know National Guard is being deployed. We know they got particular radiation units. A lot of schools are shutting down because of this event, which they've never done this before. So they know something they're not telling the people, but yet they are warning you indirectly to prepare, to stock up, right? And they're trying to blame it on the fact that you're going to have a lot of migration, a lot of people moving to see this phenomena, and that it's going to strain the infrastructure. It's going to, everybody going to be rushing to get gas and food and water and all these things. That's what they're allegedly trying to blame it on. Now, I believe that obviously it's way more to it than that. The fact that, the sun, or Slaki, the moon, the new moon, we know that plays that pretty much plays along with the tides of the waters, the oceans and stuff. So we can likely see, just like what happened in 1811, following this eclipse, man, thousands of earthquakes, magnitudes we haven't seen before, a whole lot of seismic activity, which could also prompt volcanic eruptions, man. Okay, and this is just, nature. It's not to say, if they actually planning on doing some type of, Black Swan event. Okay, because when you got a major event like this, they could easily pull a Black Swan event and blame it on the total solar eclipse. You know what I'm saying? Easily, right? There was another video I was watching where the guy went into the fact that, yes, a total solar eclipse, like I mentioned, being in correlation with the tidal waves and the ocean and stuff, it could cause earthquakes. It could affect that, the seismic activity. Okay. So what we likely could see
Following hear about that and his
repeat,
smelled bad.
but on a grander scale, man, because again, the world didn't end in 1811, right? But we do know we're in the times of again, a Passover. Okay. We're expecting the plagues of Egypt to smite this place any day now. It's the Most High has been hitting this place, but we about to see unprecedented shit, man. Okay. Like, just look at these things here alone that was caused by all those earthquakes that was erupting during 1811. Okay. And if everything else is lining up, the signs in the heavens, okay, hey, this place is long overdue, man. I believe they say like, these particular places are long overdue for these earthquakes and shit, man. Okay. Now, I have this here just pulled up, and it's something, brothers, may already have been seeing and hearing over the last several weeks, but nonetheless, man, this is no coincidence. There's no Hebrew word for coincidence, man. Now, when you look at that April 8th eclipse, we know that the path it takes passes through 7 cities of Nineveh. Okay, at least 7, which we know 7 goes into completion, right? The 2 eclipses, the one from 7 years ago and, this upcoming one, like I said, they cross in a place called Little Egypt, Illinois, which is Egypt is another name for America when you read Revelation 11 and 8, okay, as well as Deuteronomy 28 and 68, okay. Like I said, the X, all right, forms the Hebrew character tha, okay, that's the Hebrew tha, which goes into a sign or end, okay. They said that eclipse from the pathway from 2017 passed through a 1,700-mile crack. And the one that's coming up on the 8th is going to pass through that New Madrid fault line. And again, he mentioned that those earthquakes back in 1811 were called the New Madrid earthquakes.
Not to mention more scripture. The eclipse of April 8th, 25th, National Guard.
Yeah, the New Madrid earthquakes, I believe, is what he said. So this eclipse is crossing that exact same pathway. And we know that at the Boot Hill of Missouri is where that Madrid fault line lies at, man. Okay. We got the Devil's Comet's going to be visible, which again, when you did the math, if it comes around every 71 years, then that will line up with 1811. Okay. Just showing you, man, these things are not coincidence, man. We know Shabbat is that same evening because it's a new moon. So it's just going to be a very, very spiritual day, man. So like, we know we came into our new year, and things are really about to turn up. Things are about to turn up, man. And a lot of you people, you're not ready. Okay. This destruction is about to commence. That's just what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? You people looking at these signs, scriptures say the heathen are dismayed at the signs in heaven. You motherfuckers gonna be trying to travel and go, oh, let me look up at the total solar eclipse. Whole time, that's a nomen omen, man. That means this place is about to be destroyed. Right? Also, allegedly, this eclipse is occurring the same day when the 3 days of darkness began. And I believe it was some particular messianic. He was on here. He was on here and he was going into this eclipse, and he was saying that, it's occurring the same time the plague of 3 days of darkness began. You know what I'm saying? You got people out there that's like, oh, well, how would you know? Blah, blah, blah. But I mean, when you think about it, we are in a time of the Passover, meaning we're in a time of those plagues smiting Egypt. Okay. So it's really, it's really not far off. Okay. And like he mentioned, these earthquakes and one of the effects of the earthquakes was the smog. Okay. Thick darkness. Okay. Let's go back.
This is where it gets in.
Earthquake smog. And this was happening, man, in 1811. It says the skies turned dark during the earthquakes, so dark that lighted lamps didn't help, Again, they got National Guard being deployed, telling people to stock up food, gas, and water. You know, pretty much be prepared. You see what I'm saying? And again, this could be a cause for a Black Swan event. Don't forget, we've been getting hit with cyber attacks. You can't forget the sleeper cells. You can't forget that the stage for everything is fucking set, man. Okay? You can't forget that. All right? It says, the skies turned dark during the earthquake, so dark that lighted lamps didn't help. The air smelled bad and it was hard to breathe. It is speculated that it was small containing dust particles caused by the eruption of warm water into cold air. Okay. Also, can't forget the sickness. I mean, like, yo, destruction is about to commence, man. This is what I take from this. I mean, these signs in the heavens are major, man. This shit's about to pop off, man. Something major is about to take place, and everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. Everybody sees it coming. People talking about they feel a energy shift and all that, man. Yeah. Okay. Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to turn the tides, man. Literally, he's about to shake shit up, man. Also, in that same video, that Messianic guy, he mentioned that since 1776, only 8 total solar eclipses completely crossed the U.S. You know, so not like just crossing California or one particular state, like completely crossing the country. And they crossed during times of war. All right, 2 of them was during the Revolutionary War, 3 was during the Civil War, and 2 were during the Vietnam War. You see that? And the 8th one, back in 2017, only crossed the U.S. and no other country. You see that? Okay.
During the history there.
In that same video, which I can't confirm this or whatnot, right? But he mentioned that, you know, a solar eclipse represents judgment on the heathen nations. Okay, on the heathen nation, where lunar eclipse represents judgment on Israel. Now, I can't confirm that, he mentioned that in the video, but the fact that this eclipse from 2017 only crossed America, Babylon the Great, and we know that the one that's coming up on the 8th is going to cross Babylon the Great and is going to make a X, okay, the Da, which represents an end or a sign, okay? Okay? No coincidences in the Hebrew, man. The Most High ain't dealing with no coincidences, okay? Everything is done because it's supposed to be done. So all this is, this is just crazy, man. But yeah, it only crossed the U.S., no other country, which we know America, Babylon the Great is the only place prophesied to be completely destroyed. See? You see? And then we have the eclipse coming up on the, I put the 9th, lock it. Eclipse coming up, the 9th, it's the 9th one. The eclipse coming up on the 8th would make it the 9th one, to completely cross the U.S., which, to my knowledge, 9 goes into judgment, finality. All right. I'm pretty sure, fruitfulness. It can go into some other things, but to my knowledge, which correct me if I'm wrong on that, brothers, but it goes into finality and judgment, man. Okay. So the time where America, Babylon the Great is about to be judged. Okay. We're hoping and praying that as soon as this, this Passover is complete, that the destruction commences on this place, man. Okay, it's likely we see a Black Swan event on this date, okay, leading up to the date, right after the date. But again, what we do know, which you can obviously look this up, okay, the same things that happened in 1811, okay, a lunar eclipse, 2 weeks later, a solar eclipse, and around the same time you had the Devil's Comet, okay, was in the skies, all right, was visible. Well, we're going through the same things now, man. We got a lunar eclipse coming up on March 25th. 2 weeks later, the total solar eclipse where the Devil's Comet is going to be visible. And what happened after that? Thousands of earthquakes of great dangerous magnitude. You see, so you can fucking think it's a coincidence all you want. But Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is about to blow this shit up, man. He's about to get shit jumping, man. All right. These devils even got a future map of the U.S. You see, future map of the U.S. where the West Coast will be completely sunk underwater, right? And this whole fucking country would be all divided up and shooken up. What will cause this? You see, why create a future map that looks like this? The doomsday map, okay? You see? which we know again, the Most High has prophesied there's going to be earthquakes in diverse places, many earthquakes, the sea, tsunamis, hurricanes, you know what I'm saying, all types of natural disasters going crazy, man. And he even mentioned in his video the animals was acting weird.
Backwards. Thunder.
Animal warnings. It says people reported strange behavior by animals before the earthquakes. And you had them videos going out, was it last year, a couple years ago, like just chickens and just different animals just walking in circles, just doing a lot of weird behavior. Hey, man, look, man, this shit about to pop off, man. You people been asleep too damn long, and the Most High about to wake you, jolt you people back up, man. Okay? All right, it says people reported strange behavior by animals before the earthquakes. They were nervous and excited. Domestic animals became wild, and wild animals became tame. And I can't read the rest, so we know the Most High is going to work in our day, man. He's going to bring new plagues, new things. That's why scriptures say this going to be a time like never before, man. Earthquake lights. It says lights flash from the ground caused by quartz crystals being squeezed. The phenomena is called seismoluminescence. Like shit, man. Y'all, hey, I hope you people are ready, man.
And if you
And
look,
again, they got
information
this
April 8th.
National Guard being deployed. Okay. Certain places are going under states of emergency, I believe. I know, like fucking Texas, or the state of Texas, or New York. Let me see, Salakia. The Texas County declared state of emergency ahead of the eclipse. National Guard being deployed in certain places, and again, they're trying to say it's due to, the infrastructure is going to be overrun, blah blah blah. Hey, man, look, you believe that shit if you want to, man. But at the end of the day, these signs, all right, are of no coincidence, and this destruction's about to happen, man. You see, so all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua, DTA Wild Baba Ball, Shalom.